I'm Don Wilson, and I am the driver of Convexity. Convexity is a term that's often associated with finance. It has to do with bond math, but more generally, a positively convex shape is a smile. In finance, if you have a positively convex position, you're generally more resilient. You're able to withstand periods of high volatility. You actually do better in periods of high volatility. So going through life with positive convexity is usually a good thing. I live in Chicago. I run a trading firm that has my initials. Started a few years after college. Trade everything. I started off trading in the trading pits, standing in the trading pits in Chicago. So there's actually a lot of crossover between trading and sailing. That may not seem intuitive. In trading, it's all about managing risk, managing the things that you can control, and acknowledging the things that you can't control. You always have to think about how much risk you're taking, how much variance is there in whatever you're thinking about, and how should you position accordingly. Obviously, if you're sailing, that could mean, well, we think that the wind is going to shift left, and so we want to be on the left side of the course. On the other hand, if the whole fleet is going right and you go left, then you're really taking a lot of risk, and you're putting yourself in a position where you're either going to be first or last, and that's probably an unnecessary level of risk to take. And so instead, you probably want to be, since your goal is to optimize kind of where you are in the fleet, you want to be the leftmost boat, but not way left of the whole fleet. So that's kind of a simple analogy of where risk management in sailing comes into play, and that kind of thinking is very similar to the decisions that you make in managing risk in markets. So I've sailed a number of boats over time. I sailed in high school. I sailed 420s. That was actually in Switzerland. I raced in college a little bit. After college, I got a Tartan 10. I was living in Chicago. Eventually, I did a J105, Melgus 20, or Melgus 24, Far 40. Then I transitioned to match racing. I set up the Chicago Match Race Center, hosted kind of one regatta a month. It was great. People would fly in from all over the world. But when the America's Cup transitioned from monohull to catamaran, the monohull match racing just became a little bit less relevant. We decided to switch to M32 racing just because, they're not foiling, but they're pretty fast, high performance catamarans, and that was kind of, felt like a more relevant platform to, to the new kind of highest levels of sailing. Yeah, so I got into M32s 8 or 9 years ago. I got on the boat and I was standing on the boat, and we trimmed the sails on and started going, and I almost fell over. And I'm like, wow, these forces on this boat are so counterintuitive. Just the amount of acceleration is pretty amazing. And I think that's what, just that speed, the way that they move through the water is just makes them so much fun to sail. Well, we have won the last 3 World Championships. And I have to say, the one in Portugal was quite close. We, took a little bit of luck to pull it off. It was down to the last few minutes of the last race. And really everything all the stars had to align for it to happen. There are a lot of very competitive boats. I think it will be very hard to do it for a 4th time. But everything I do, I always try to, constantly improve at it, and just, do the best I can. And so we're going to approach this the same way.